Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am Dr. Leyton, and on this channel, we answer your medical questions, debunk myths, and discuss ways to help you live your most amazing life. Always from a real doctor, and always evidence-based with the most up-to-date science. Recently, actress Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop Lab Netflix series has taken the internet and the world by storm. Critics have condemned the show for promoting pseudoscience, spreading misinformation, and for being a glorified infomercial. But is Goop Lab as bad as its press? In this episode, a real doctor reacts to the full season of the Goop Lab with Gwyneth Paltrow. We will talk about the good, the bad, and the just goopy. Whenever someone is telling you about health-related products or services, it is important to not just immediately accept what they're saying or immediately reject what they're saying. Here are a few questions you should ask. Is a person telling me about this trying to sell me something? This is a huge red flag. Is there evidence or research that supports their claims? How much evidence? How large were the sample sizes? Have other people been able to repeat the same results? Can you see the results for yourself? Does this sound too good to be true? Is it advertised as a quick fix? Is that a better or more proven treatment for the same issue? Does that make sense to me? Intuition is not always right, but if something seems off, it very well might be. It is important to be skeptical and ask questions before just accepting what someone says. Is the person telling me this an expert? Are their credentials legitimate? Do they have a conflict of interest? Is this dangerous? Does doing this put me or other people in immediate harm's way? It is important to remember that Netflix or even YouTube are not necessarily the best sources for health information. It is always okay to ask a trusted healthcare professional for an honest opinion. Now, I'm not saying that everything you see on the internet or your favorite streaming platform is false, but it's important to ask the right questions and always err on the side of caution. There are 6 episodes. 1. The healing trip. 2. Cold comfort. 3. The pleasure is ours. 4. The health span plan. 5. The energy experience. And 6. Are you into it? Click the links in the comments below to skip to a specific episode. Okay, so let's start with the intro.
When I started Goop in 2008, I was like, my calling is something else besides, making out with Matt Damon on screen or whatever.
Now it's this modern lifestyle brand.
To me, it's all like laddering up to one thing, which is optimization of self. Like, we're here one time, one life. Like, how can we really milk the shit out of this?
You have 100 needles in your face, Elise.
Just another day at the office.
The opportunity that we have with the Goop Lab is that as a company, we can go out in different groups and go on a much deeper dive into some of these topics that our readers are curious about.
This is going to be my first experience with mushrooms.
You have to let go of your ego.
So what happens in a workshop?
Everyone gets off.
What the fuck are you doing to people? We get to explore, is this real? Do we feel better?
And grapple with some topics that are hard and embarrassing or shameful.
Isn't that beautiful? Relax.
That was next level shit.
So, are you guys ready to go out in the field and make a ruckus?
Yeah.
You can handle it, right?
So very important that they're putting that this is not a medical advice. I appreciate that.
You can cry, you can scream, you can pound the ground. The only thing we don't do is get sexual with each other, and we don't take our clothes off. But other than that, literally anything goes. Just let it rip.
But once you take a psychedelic, you're in on the ride.
You're fucked, basically.
Down the hatch.
No turning back.
We know at Goop, obviously, the psychedelics are controversial. But what we try to do at Goop is to be open-minded and explore ideas that may seem out there or too scary so that people can have access to the information and make up their own minds.
Yeah, a little bit of anxiety to be doing this on camera, but whatever.
You know what's on the other side is just total freedom.
Very intense, full body experience.
Melting into the floor.
Time and space around me had just dissipated.
I think it was the most important experience of my life.
I feel like a different person.
What have I gotten myself into?
Okay, welcome. It's such an honor to have you both here.
What a pleasure. Thank you.
Can you explain to us what MAPS is?
MAPS is the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies, and it's an organization that supports and does and fundraises for psychedelic research.
I would personally love to know a little bit about the trajectory of using psychedelics as a healing modality.
Psychedelics have been part of the human history for thousands of years in the context of spirituality, healing, and celebration of transitions. In the 60s, we had a battle between the young folks, the hippies, the baby boomers, and we had the drug warriors. Psychedelics were then criminalized. Well, psychedelics are back, and they're being used in the context of treatment.
Why do you think it's coming into the mainstream now?
You know, there's depression, anxiety, suicide is all increasing, despite what we thought in the 90s was this renaissance of psychopharmacology. You know, Prozac, Celexa, Zoloft. Psychiatry left psychotherapy behind, and we embraced these drugs that we all know give terrible side effects. And really, as a culture, we're hungry for something else and for something to help us heal.
Right. So we wanted to explore psychedelics in a therapeutic setting.
There have been small studies about psilocybin, which is the active ingredient of magic mushrooms, for refractory or drug-resistant major depression and anxiety disorders. They were performed in a controlled and safe environment. While there is a lot of anecdotal evidence, we still need more and larger studies.
So a microdose of mushrooms is a very, very small amount that is likely not to make you feel the very intense psychoactive effects of mushrooms. I'd get like a very large quantity, put them in my freezer and, you know, grind them up in smoothies and really slowly dose over the time. And so I've probably been doing that for about, oh my God, it's like 6 years now. It's a long time. I was personally going through a lot of depression and trauma and anxiety. I progressed towards feeling really, really suicidal. My mind became my worst enemy. I think for people of color, specifically, we have like a culture of being hard and not really facing things like mental illness or even just like emotional pain. But I've been going to therapy. I'd been giving it the old college try, but only could that take me so far. I needed something else, and mushrooms were sort of the gateway towards a better sense of healing for me that I really wasn't able to find on my own. Yeah. Over this time, I've witnessed a transformation in myself that I really didn't think was possible. I know that this is illegal, but I feel like people can say what they want to say about it, but until they're in a position where they're about to take their life, I don't feel like that they can judge me, if that makes any sense.
This is Classic Goop, stocked out about conventional medical therapies and gloss over any risk of novel therapies while neglecting to mention that the lack of studies means we know far less about the risks.
36 years now. I've been carrying this emptiness and loneliness around for 39 years. And thank you for letting me do all of this fun stuff. And
Shut up.
No, thank you.
I love you so much.
I love you.
Don't forget to leave your medical questions in the comments down below. Also, subscribe for more answers to your questions and ways to live your most amazing life. Hit the bell for notifications when I post new videos every Friday.